Donald Trump won the election with the rally cry, "Make America Great Again." And as you can imagine, during his inauguration, there are a number of people who will be closely monitoring his 100 days in office, including a man who got to know him personally. Please welcome Dr. Randall Pinkett. Thank you so much for joining us with Vision Voice Varion.
Glad to be here. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Today is a day that a lot of people are watching. Donald Trump, who was known as the host of The Apprentice, take his rightful role, if you will, as the president of the United States. What did you learn from him as a businessman, and what are you hoping to see from him as president?
So I was the fourth season winner of The Apprentice. I worked for Donald for a year in Atlantic City. I got to know him, got to see the inner workings of his organization, and there were many characteristics I saw in Donald that we saw on the campaign trail: the ego, the bombastic nature, the assertive and at times aggressive personality. But what I didn't see was the extreme nature of his political views. And so I went from surprised that he announced his candidacy to concerned as I watched his campaign to frightened as I saw his articulation of his potential policies. So I'm hoping that despite not seeing much diversity in his organization or in his campaign team or in his cabinet, that we can still hold him accountable for what he said he wanted to do the night he won, which was to be the president for all Americans. And our democracy works best when we have dissenting opinions. And so our jobs is to challenge Donald to hold him true to that ideal.
You're on the campus of UTC, and the observation of Dr. King's birthday, the holiday, is still going on. What do you say to the women, minorities, and other students at this university when it comes to moving forward now that Donald Trump is in office?
My advice to students, to members of the UTC, and even Chattanooga community is believe that you can make a difference, that our voices, when united, can really have power. And while there may be a student listening that says, well, what can I do? I'm a first-year student. I'm just trying to graduate, Dr. Pinkett. I say, well, no, we've seen students get university presidents removed. We've seen students organize to get young people released from jail, the Gina 6. So don't discount Dr. King was the pastor of Ebenezer Baptist at the age of 26. And I'm probably talking right now to 19, 20, 21-year-olds. So never underestimate what you can do. But most importantly, know that you have to first ask yourself the question, what are the things that you care about, the issues that matter to you, and then let that guide you to where you can make a difference.
And has the dream gotten a little cloudy, as I've heard you say earlier this morning? And that's my final question. In addition to the personal responsibility of each and every person, the dream itself, how do you feel about the dream in 2017?
That's a good question. You wonder what Trayvon Martin's mom feels about the dream. You wonder what Michael Brown's family would say about the dream. You wonder what all of the untold numbers of black men and women who've lost their lives at the hands of police or other circumstances would say about the dream. And they might say that the dream from 1960 looks a lot like what it looks like in 2017. And while we've made progress, we have a lot of work to do. And so I think, if anything, the dream's still alive. It's gotten a bit cloudy in the past recent years, but the reason why Dr. King's celebration is so important, because it reminds us to not lose sight of what that dream was and to keep working toward its reality.
What's next for you?
Well, I love what I'm doing. I'm an entrepreneur, chairman and CEO of BCT Partners. I continue to look at ways that I can promote economic empowerment and wealth building and entrepreneurship in African American and minority communities. So I'll continue that work because I believe that economic empowerment is one of the key last pieces of work of Dr. King's work, which he never got to finish.
Definitely. Well, Dr. Pinkett, thank you so much for joining us. And as we wrap this up, the one thing that I want you guys to remember is that 2017 will be a year of hope and promise, but we all, as Dr. Pinkett said, have a personal responsibility to keep the dream alive. I'm optimistic. And of course, we too will be closely monitoring the first 100 days of President Donald Trump. And of course, you can count on the Vision Voice Varion team to keep you posted how it affects where you call home. For now, I'm Varion Walton in Chattanooga. Spread the word, tell a friend. Vision, Voice, Varion. Always on, always connected.